If you've been in sales for a while, you've probably heard this from one of your prospects. I want to think it over. I need more time to think about it. Now, the problem with this is it usually comes towards the end of their buying cycle. You've made your presentation, you may have even given them a quote. Now you're hit with this. Don't worry, in this video, I'm going to give you ways how you can respond to this and still maintain a great relationship with the customer, even if they don't buy. First, if you're new to my channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way you'll be notified of any new videos that I come out with. Thank you. Now, the first thing that you don't want to do is get angry or upset because you've put in a lot of work and now they're telling you, I'm not really sure I want to buy yet. Don't get upset. Learn, listen, and then engage again. So what happens with most customers is they have a reason. They have a reason why they're not ready to buy. It's probably your fault. Sorry, that's the way it is. It either has to do with you haven't asked enough questions, you haven't uncovered their buying motives, you haven't explained to them how much better off they're going to be 3, 6, 12 months down the road. Maybe it's more expensive than they thought and you really hadn't discussed value. Maybe in their mind there's not enough value for the price that you're asking. There's a reason why they're telling you that they want to think it over. Your job, like any sales situation or any objection that's being handed to you, is to get to the root cause of it. Find out exactly why and do it politely. And do it so where you show respect to the customer. Even if they don't buy this time, you don't want to burn any bridges. I like to say no often means not yet. So maybe they're just not ready, but you need to find out why. So here's a couple of things that you can do when you hear this objection. Just repeat it back to them or make a guess, because then they'll respond. So say, for instance, they say, this sounds great, Louis, but I want to think it over. You can say, sounds like the price might be too high for you. Now this will do one of two things. If it is the price, they'll go, yeah, it is kind of high. It's more than I was expecting. Or they may say, no, that's not it. I'm just not really sure. If they say, I'm not sure, that's fine. Just agree with them. Listen, I know this is a big decision for you, and I really understand that you want to take your time to think about it. Would you mind sharing with me what exactly you want to think about? Now, this works if A, they like you, B, they trust you. So they have to have both of those emotions for you. They have to like you and they have to trust you. If they trust you, they'll be honest with you and they'll tell you what's holding them back. It's not in the budget, they weren't given the authority, they have to check with their partner. Whatever it is, you need to uncover it and maybe they'll tell you. And maybe they have an honest answer. They say, I have to run this past our financial steering committee. It's an honest answer. You say, that's fine. I totally agree. Can you tell me when they meet again? Now, here's something you could say if they do say, I want to bring it to my financial steering committee, and they tell you that they meet next Tuesday. Ask, would you mind if I could be there just to listen and answer any questions? I mean, you only buy this product once in a lifetime, and I sell it every day, and it may help move things along, and I promise I won't interfere. 9 times out of 10, they're going to say no, but I've had customers say yes. They may say, well, why don't you be ready by your phone? We meet at 12 o'clock on Tuesday, and if we have any questions, we'll call you. And this is great. You're acting as a resource for them, a trusted advisor, someone who can help them get what they need. If they do say your price is too high, this is one of two things. You didn't ask enough questions about their budget and what they can afford and the value that this will provide. And you didn't show enough value to them to justify the expense. Never blame the customer. If they're not ready, you haven't provided enough value for them to move ahead with the purchase. So before you go ahead and start blaming the customer that they didn't buy, look inside. Did you do your job? Did you ask enough pertinent and relevant questions? Did you show enough value? Did you distinguish yourself from your competition so that you stand out? There's a reason why they didn't buy, and it has to do with what you presented to them, and it's your job to uncover. Let me tell you a story that happened to me, and you can use this as well because it's honest, and it just came out of me, and you can make it your own, but it was done in all sincerity. One time I was in that situation where I'd made a presentation, and I think we'd been in the journey of their buying for about 90 days. May have even been any longer. And they said to me, I'm really not sure. I want to think it over. And what just came out was, I'm sorry. And they looked at me kind of quizzically and said, what are you sorry for? I said, well, I obviously didn't do my job. I didn't give you enough reasons to move ahead with our company. You didn't see enough value. I didn't present enough value in what we were offering to you to help you get your project done. And they said, the guy looked at me and said, oh, no, it's not you. And I don't remember what it was. I think he said, oh, no, it's, we have to get this other project completed before we move ahead with another one. So just by me, I was shocked. I mean, I really didn't understand why they weren't going ahead, but I just apologized. And he came out, and because I was self-deprecating, I fell on my sword. I showed that I was human. He was willing to open up to me. And then we had a discussion about when they would be finished with the other project and they could proceed. One final tip that I'll give you is that a lot of salespeople don't ask is when they say, I'm not ready to buy, or I'd like to think it over, and you answer that objection. They say, well, your price is too high. And you might say, well, how high is it? And they say, it's this amount. It's something that maybe you can negotiate. You say to them, is that the only thing that's keeping you from moving ahead with your purchase? Shut up, let them answer. Because if you ask them that and they say yes, then you're just about there. If they say no, well, now you've uncovered more objections and you know the other items you need to get crossed off your list before they can go ahead with a purchase. This is a real pro tip. Most salespeople don't ask that because a lot of times they'll just take it, well, yeah, here, I need 10% discount. Say, okay, here's 10% discount. Oh, but I also need it in color blue. It'll go on forever. Just isolate it and say, is there anything else that's keeping you from moving ahead? So all the way back to, I want to think about it. Make sure that you have delivered enough value, separated yourself from the competition, understand enough about their buying motives, explain how much better they're going to be 3, 6, 12 months down the road. Do all the work you can up front. So if you do get that sales objection, you'll be prepared. And there'll be less of the times that those will show up if you do your job on the front end. I hope this helps you. Please don't forget to subscribe and like this video if it provided value for you. It really helps. Thanks again.